Greetings all, a nice teacher here. Today we will be starting our series of data structures and algorithms. We'll start with the most basic data structure, a one-dimensional array. Let's get started. An array is a collection of data items of the same type stored in contiguous memory locations. We can represent an array on screen in the following manner. Let's suppose we have an array named X and we'll show it like this, where each individual box represents the space for each individual element. Let's put a few elements in this array. Now in the above definition, I would like you to pay attention to a couple of things. First, the array is a collection of data items of the same type. What this means is that all data items in the array are of the same data type. This may be an integer, a character, a float, or any other data type. It could also be a user-defined data type. Second, the data items are stored in contiguous memory locations. This means that if an item is at a particular location in the computer's memory, the next item in the array will be in the location right next to the previous location. For instance, if we assume that the data item 1 is at a location A, then 5 would be at the location A plus 1 and 3 would be at the location A plus 2. Before we proceed further, there is one more thing I would like you to understand. The above definition of an array is only correct for languages such as C and C++. Other languages, for instance Java, JavaScript or Python, either have dynamically allocated arrays or have other data structures such as lists and dictionaries. An array may also be of more than one dimension. For example, here is a two-dimensional array. X, the one-dimensional array, only has a single row and 13 columns, while X1, the two-dimensional array, has 3 rows and 10 columns. Now moving on. Let us now see how we can access an element in the array. What we can do is to provide an index for each element. So each element in the array will have an index associated with it. Let us keep the first index as 0, then 1, and so on. Let us also fill the array up with some character values. The index of the first element in the array is called the lower bound. In this case, that would be 0. The index of the last element in the array is called the upper bound. Here, that would be 12. So to access the element at the nth index, we can use the notation, the name of the array, in this case x, followed by the index n in square brackets. Note that the value of the index, which is n here, should always be from the lower bound to the upper bound, both included. The above notation behaves just like a variable of the same data type as the array. Suppose now we want to print the element at index 2, that is the third element in the array since the lower bound is 0. We can simply write a printf statement for the character data type and use x2 in square brackets as the character. That would give us the output G. We discussed how the value of n should lie from the lower bound to the upper bound. This is because the array contains a fixed number of elements. The number of elements in the array may be referred to as the size of the array. However, the term size is also used for the number of bytes taken up by the array, which is different for different data types even if the number of elements are the same. Other definitions are length and count. So the length of the array is given by the upper bound minus the lower bound plus 1. For our array x here, the length is 13. This formula of length is even valid if the upper bound and lower bound are negative numbers, but they must not be fractions. For instance, in this case, the length of the array would be 18 minus negative 15 plus 1. That would give us 34. Let us get to setting the value of an element. The same notation, the name of the array followed by the index in square brackets, can be used to set the element. To set the element at index 7 to the character E, we can write the following statement. Let us now write the code to input and print a one-dimensional array. We include the header file stdio.h for printf and scanf. Inside void main, we declare a character array of maximum length of 100 and some integers which will help us in indexing. We input the number of elements in the array from the user. If the number of elements is less than 0 or greater than the maximum length of the array, we end the program. Using a for loop, we change the value of I from 0 to the number of elements minus 1. We ask the user to input the element at the ith index and then input it using scanf. Then we print the array using another for loop. The above code gives the following output. That's it, people. Thank you for watching. I hope this video was helpful to you. If it was, please do like, share it with someone who you think may also find it useful. Subscribe for more data structures and algorithms. However, I would not recommend you to turn on the notification bell, as I would be uploading videos from a variety of different topics. Please do comment below and let me know what you thought of this one. Have a nice day.